think by the time I had gotten into college, I had been swimming for close to almost 8 or 10 years. And so the goal in high school was to swim in college. And so I never really set a goal after that. And so when I got to college, it was like, what do I do now? I got kind of sidetracked and really focused a lot on academics, but also you're in college too. So I think I'd been swimming and doing the sport long enough to where it had just started to burn me and I couldn't psych myself up. And the moment a guy would pull away, I would not be able to catch him again. And so that I knew what was going on, and I think that kind of beat me down. I kind of took a break from any sort of athletic sport and just trained on my own and trained with some friends. But I think coming here and actually talking with Taylor was the girl that got me interested in CrossFit after like 7 months of just nagging. And she was like, you can find that here. And it's unlike the stories that I heard about CrossFit before, where they just say, keep throwing on weight, keep putting it over your head. No, I think it wants to meet you where you are and help to build you up to where you want to be. It's never trying to push any sort of perception that other people have on you. What I like the most is there's no judgment, which is probably the best part. And that leads to you not judging yourself quite as harshly.
Dan the man, where do I begin? When I first saw him, I was like, okay, this guy looks like an athlete, looks like a cross-country runner, to tell you the truth. And he just was asking me a bunch of questions kind of about CrossFit. And then as I started talking to him, he started talking about not only his interest in starting up some CrossFit, but that he had been a collegiate swimmer. And then so we started talking about swimming, because I was a swimmer and he was a swimmer.
I grew up in Austin pretty much my whole life, and then I tried every sport. I was not good at them, except for swimming. And I did that since before I can remember. I decided when I got to freshman year in high school, I was like, I'm gonna swim in college because I don't like school enough to go just as a student. Got recruited by South Carolina, so I competed in the mile and mostly just endurance events like 200 fly. I've enjoyed those.
So one of the first conversations that I had with Dan was, I think, either after an open workout or maybe before an open workout, but he was talking to me about competing. And as the conversation went along, I found out that he swam at a very competitive level on the collegiate and national level, but he had kind of lost the competition for himself. And so kind of when I met him, he seemed sort of like kind of lost. Like he didn't really know exactly what he wanted to do as far as like training, and he just didn't really have much direction. And so as we started talking about CrossFit, he got more and more interested. And I think it was pretty quick. It was either the first or maybe the first couple conversations that I had with him, where he told me, he was like, you know, I wanna be competitive. He brought that mindset into training, and it's been super cool to see, because it's really like he went from square one fitness program, and he's not only picked things up super quickly, but you know, the competitive nature of just an athlete, which I think he had when he was at such a high level in swimming, he's started to bring that into the workout area here at CrossFit Ukarhu. And I mean, you can just see it, you know, like 3, 2, 1, go. That kind of click goes through his mind. You can see it in his eyes where he's just like, he's out for blood.
It's honestly something, it's been pretty cool, because like I said, it got to a point where if you did draw a picture of it, it would be like this big flame I had in high school down to like just got blown out towards the end of college. And like I literally could not breathe any more life back into it. I couldn't tap into that source of competition or that competitive spirit. And that was really aggravating for me, because physically I was there, but mentally I couldn't break through that. And here, within just like the first 2 weeks, it was like I could feel it start to come back, and that was like such a refreshing feeling, because I thought I had lost that pretty much forever. And that was really hard for me. Now that I'm in L2, within just the past 3 weeks since I've been in the group, I've been able to like turn that thing on in my head and start to get, not angry, I was trying to think of the word last night, not angry, but like competitive, just to where you're like, nostrils are flaring, like you're starting to move up and down, get psyched up, and like you feel stronger than you actually are. And I hadn't felt that in like years. And so that's a lot of fun. So that's when I'm just like, I want to compete now and push everyone around me and try to beat everyone around me.
And with that, Dan, I'm gonna miss you. And I already do miss you so much because I love you. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't say that. Dan is great, and we're really gonna miss him in the fitness program. But as with everything in life, it's great to see progress, and it's great that Dan's chasing his dreams, because at the end of the day, as a coach, that's all I want my athletes to do.